Good evening. We promised we'd be back at 5 o'clock, didn't we? Welcome to the craft store. Aaron, thank you for hanging around.
Nice to see you again.
You found the coffee? You found the milk?
I found too much coffee. Been to the loo too many times.
Well, that's okay. Well, good. As long as it's all going, that's the whole point of life, isn't it? Now then, we're really excited about Eli Chem being on the craft store for a start. There was a show at 2 o'clock. Have a look there. Look, but we're doing different things this show.
We're doing different things, but we're also doing a finish off of one of the pieces we started in the first show.
That's a good point. At the end of 2 o'clock, we'll show you just a little while, a little rewind for you, that we did a pour. But the point is, with these resins, you're not waiting overnight.
No.
In fact, this one, the FastCast, which is what we're focusing on this show, in this studio and any other studio that I've known of, there's not a quicker one done.
Correct. It's the fastest one I think the viewers will ever use or get to use. And another reason why we did that first half is to show you that they are compatible together.
Yes, between the turbo and the FastCast, yeah.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So we're going to be proving all of that for you. But in front of us here is just a selection, and Aaron, talk us around a little bit of what people use resins for. How does it fit into our crafty world?
Resins are used in so many different applications, and it's driven creatively by the imagination, really. So, you know, today we're going to focus more on interior design items, sort of homeware, things like platters, candle holders, coasters, pot plants, etc., like that. Just usable homeware stuff.
It could be jewellery making, we talk about that, like embellishments for your card crafting if you want to. It can be really thick, can be really thin. You could use you can create a little shards of elements and use them as decorative pieces as well. All available by shopping direct with Aaron at elichem.co.uk. On the bottom part of the screen, you can see shop here. The whole website, elichem.co.uk. There are coloured elements, there are pearl elements, there are metallic elements, but you've got the FastCast elements too. We'll show you exactly what you're purchasing in just a second. But here's where you're shopping on this show via the craft store, of course, direct at elichem.co.uk. Talk to me about promo codes, please.
So for today's two shows, we brought out a promo code. The coupon code is Craft Store.
That works out for me.
Very easy, lowercase, one word. You get 10% off your order total. So it's not 10% off these items only. It's whatever is in your basket, whatever the total is, 10% off that. Free shipping.
Thank you.
And a free gift, which I'm sure you can educate them on.
Which is this bit. How cool is this? Now, free gift is a free letter mould of your choice, right? Whichever letter you want it to be.
Yes.
Maybe you want to order more than one. I don't know. But listen, if you want, so you've got to put it in the order notes, right? I mean, you probably just put a random one in if you don't hear. But if you want a C, if you want a B, you want an X, you want an S, pop it in the order notes, tell us which one, and that's going to be completely free. Only if you use that promo code, friends. I'll talk about it an awful lot on elichem.co.uk. That's where you can see all the products we're talking about today. But at checkout, promo code Craft Store, one word, and then 10% off everything, free shipping, and the letter too. And you can see it right there, FastCast Rapid Art and Craft Resin. That is what we're talking about. But again, anything else on there, whether it's going to be other colouring elements, maybe it's going to be the powders we're talking about, you know, whatever, website wide.
Yes, all the pigments we're going to use today, we're going to use a metallic powder today. That's all on there. So it is a site-wide discount code.
That's very kind, Aaron. Thank you so much. So again, you get an idea of like any of those moulds. Is it any mould?
Well, it's any letter mould A to Z.
Yeah, sorry, I mean that we can use your resin in.
Oh, yes, sorry, any type of mould. Absolutely, yes. So, I mean, most conventionally, the moulds would be made of silicon or latex or rubber, but they can be steel or wood as long as they've got a release agent, because then the resin won't stick to the sides. But yes, any mould that's out there that everyone's using already, completely compatible with these products.
Here we go, elichem.co.uk is where you go. We'll physically show you. Let's wander over to the actual product. I'll follow you over of what you're actually getting home. Because with the FastCast side of things, there's two options, right? So we're either looking at the white or the natural. So how do we choose? What's the difference?
Right, so let's start with the natural, because that's maybe the easier one to understand. Both are low viscosity and both are 1-to-1 mix ratios.
Okay.
The natural, when you mix it together without pigments, as the name denotes, cures a natural colour. When I say natural, we're talking about like a buff, beigey, cream colour.
Yep,
okay.
I'm with you.
The white has got a little party trick up its sleeve. It starts out as like a clear resin, and in front of your eyes, as it's curing, it turns white. It actually clouds over and turns white.
Can you... No, they're both the same price, by the way. So in both, I did write it down. I'll come back. 36.24. 36.24, but don't forget you get your 10% off as well, so 6.24. Can I use colour with either?
Yes, you
Radio.
You can, but you've got to remember if you're going to use the white, that whatever colour you see in your mixing cup is not going to be the colour you end up with, because when it does its party trick of turning white, it's going to soften any primary colour.
Nice.
So you might think, oh, I've got a beautiful vibrant red when I'm mixing it. Oh my goodness, when it's dry, it's now pink.
Yep.
It's because the white, let's say the movement, the process of it whitening also softens the colour, which in itself is quite cool because it pastelizes the colours. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Okay, so you can see them both. So if you want to add colour, you can add colour. Speaking of colour, we have got the Resin Tint Max on the show.
Yes.
Radio. So again, is it a powder? Is it a...
It's a paste. It's what we call a thixotropic paste.
Okay.
Almost like a cream consistency. Yeah.
Nice. So listen, I looked on the website, elichem.co.uk, we went through it a second ago. There are like 30, 40, maybe even 50 colour options. There's an awful lot for you to choose. If you want to go for one colour, you can, 12.24. But much like on the previous options, you could order in 3s, 5s or 10s. But you can pick what 3, 5 and 10 they are.
And if we can grab that oceany trinket tray there. So the reason why there are so many colours is because within the primary colours, the popular colours, the blues, greens, reds, we have multiple shades.
Okay.
For example, in the blue, there's dark blues, there's ocean blues, there's turquoise. Why? Because this type of ocean genre, beach resin art is super popular and people really like to have the ability to have many different colours. So that's why there's a lot in the range.
Okay. So there we go. I can hear you, Jake. We'll persist or we'll crack on. We'll see. Right, let me just pop that down there. So again, maybe 40 options there for you and away we go. Jake, are any of your cameras pointing at the demo area? Because I know we're having problems with the robots. What should we do? We could bring the demo area here. Maybe that's what we do. Because our cameras, our robot cameras, have just gone AWOL.
No problem. Yeah, we can
nevertheless,
demo area here.
We'll shimmy it over here, so at least we're in vision and you can see exactly what we can do. But nevertheless, now, very, very quickly, if you're watching the previous show doing all things with the turbo, you can see how you can mix different layers and bits and bobs together for you, which is what this was. We might be back. We're back.
Okay.
Aaron, we're back. The beauty of live streaming, why not? But nevertheless, this is the sort of size of the letters you can do. But actually, with that free letter, if I can bring the W over, you can do different thicknesses, right, if you want to?
You can use it what, sorry?
Different thicknesses.
Absolutely. It's driven by how thick you pour it into that mould. Yeah. This is the same mould depth as all the other letters.
There you go. So you pick whichever one you want to do. But that sort of glossy finish is what you're going to get when you're talking all things FastCast after all. Right. I think crisis averted. I think we can crack on.
That's fine.
I've decided.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to put that down there just whilst I've got it.
Before we do that, we mentioned earlier about the possibilities of what you can create with it. So not only can you create things in a mould, we're also going to show you that the FastCast is great for display art. So we're going to pour almost like a thin coating over a board, which is an application that's not really often thought about with these products. I always thought about, I can make a skull or a candle holder or a trinket tray. Yes, that's the most commonly one, but I'm going to show you that you can also work with it to make large display art. Resin paintings.
If you're thinking, I've never heard of that before, how do I do that? We're going to do that in this show. So please watch all the way to the end, or if you're going to watch now and then have to disappear for whatever reason, watch again and shop again. But make sure you use that code Craft Store. After all, 10% off the entire website, free shipping, and your free gift, which is the letter mould of your choice. But do pop it in the notes for you there. Now, let's recap at the end of 2 o'clock, shall we? Because at the end of the 2 o'clock show, Aaron, you poured in some of the turbo side of things, wasn't it?
We poured in the FastCast Turbo. Here we go. Into this large pot mould up to roughly the halfway mark so that we could finish it off with the FastCast. And you talked earlier about the shiny, glossy element of the FastCast to contrast it with the matte, concretey texture of the FastCast Turbo.
Very cool. Now, that took literally maximum 20 minutes to set, if that's the right word for you. So obviously now it's been 2 hours. It is more than ready to go. But that was with a different resin, if you like. So now we're going to add in the FastCast.
So that was an eco resin. That was
eco resin. That was the one with water,
which is the one over there. And then we're going to add this one. We're going to mix this one up. We'll do one of 3 pours with this one today. We'll finish this one off. Then we'll do the one that changes color to white by itself, and we'll combine that with maybe the metallic powder, the copper powder. And then lastly, I think we'll just do an example of the flood coat so you can see roughly how usable this is to create different layers and work quickly on large surfaces.
A lot to fit in, a lot to do. Any questions, by the way, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, I'll monitor both in just a second. But if just before you purchase, or maybe you already have, any questions, there's no one better than Aram, so just please fire away. Okay, so we've got the hardener there, and we've also got the resin.
We've got the resin and the hardener. We're going to use the natural for this, the natural version for this pour, because it'll hold the pigment in a more true fashion. So whatever we end up with, the color in the cup is how the color is going to end in the pot. Things to remember with this product, with this range, is it's a 1-to-1 mix ratio. Okay, so 1-to-1 meaning 1 part resin, 1 part hardener. And that can be 1-to-1 by volume or 1-to-1 by weight.
Okay.
I find it easier just to use 1-to-1 by volume with one of these cups that have got graduated markings on the side. So we're going to look at this, and I think we're going to go around about 300 milliliters, maybe 400 milliliters in total, so i.e. 200 of each.
Okay, I see what you're doing there. Vanessa, I'm just going to say hello to Vanessa. Karen's just joined in, as has Amanda. Also, another Amanda and Stella are also watching. That is purely on Facebook, just a couple of names. I know a lot more of you watching on YouTube as well. Eli Chem does have its own YouTube channel too, so lots of information and different ideas and ideas on there.
So I had 200 milliliters of resin, and now we're going 200 milliliters to take us up to the 400 milliliter mark.
God, it looks, already looks really cool.
And then we're going to put our pigment in.
Okay.
I say pigment in pretty quickly, because once we start stirring the product, we're going to be up against the time clock, because obviously then it's quite a fast setting product. So let's just get that pigment.
So just looking at, once we pour it in, so it's already 12 minutes past 5. Katrina and Louise and Marie and Pauline, another Vanessa, have also just tuned in as well. Thank you so much. This is the fastest setting resin we have ever had in these studios. Remember how long Create and Craft was around in the old studios as well, and Hachanda Global, that was 8 years. Nothing ever quicker than what you're looking at right now. So you're not putting it in the airing cupboard, on a radiator, by a window, overnight and coming back to it. In that same little session of putting bits together, ready to make and sell, Aram, you'll have it popped out and ready to go.
Correct, yeah, and you'll see that right now. Well, as we go through the show. So again, things to look for is what we call pigment dispersion. How well does the resin take the color? Okay. And does the color stay uniform, i.e., no blotches, no lumps, no partial mixtures. And as you can see, as it runs off here now, it's perfect, okay? We talk about a resin being low viscosity, medium viscosity, or high viscosity. This resin is what we call low viscosity. It means it's quite thin and runny, and that's perfect because it won't hold any air bubbles. Because what I'm doing here now is really creating a vortex. It's sucking in air. However, because it's quite runny, the air bubbles will come to the surface and pop by themselves.
Now on YouTube, Crafty Span has said, I love FastCast. FastCast.
Yeah.
Fast.
Okay.
Crafty Span. You clearly, I hope you shop directly as well, Eli Chem. If Crafty Span, you've clearly used it before. If you're going to top up, use the code CraftStore. Use the code CraftStore, then you get a further 10% off and free shipping and your free mold as well.
Good. Thank you very much for the positive
comment.
Cool.
Yeah,
it is cool. Mixing time on this product is around 1 to 2 minutes, so I think I've done enough with that there. Let's pop that to the side.
Oh, so that was quicker than the previous one as well?
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
And, I'm ready to pour. Again, I'm just going to run it over.
It's like cake decorating this, isn't it, when they put like a icing over the top or something?
Just let it evenly, because if you pour from in one place like this, what you do is as it runs down, it pushes the air out with it in front of it, which means you don't really have to pop them afterwards. We do have a heat gun here, which we can use to pop the bubbles. But I'm not really worried about it so much, because what you're looking at here now, Dan, is going to be the bottom of the pot.
Yeah, you're not
going to look at it unless you want to keep picking your pot up and looking underneath. Because in this mold, you've got to think in reverse.
Now, questions coming in. If you do get bubbles or uneven bits, can you sand it back?
Absolutely, you can. Leave it. I mean, although this is going to be touch dry very quickly, you really want to leave it a few hours till it reaches its full mechanical strength. Typically, all polymers, whether they're polyurethanes or epoxies, will rush to a certain time frame of dryness, depending on how it's formulated, but that'll only be about 90% of its full mechanical properties. And it needs a little bit longer to get to the point where if you sand it, you're not going to damage it.
But as far as taking it out of the mould, and you probably will note, that's a big mould, that, isn't it? There's a lot going on. 15 minutes time?
Absolutely, 15 minutes time.
Right, it's basically 1:15.
Yep.
We'll come back to that one at 1/2 past.
Yes.
Now then, do you want to mix up some more to move on to the next demo, or shall I recap? What works best for you?
No, I'll mix up some more.
Let's go.
I've left some in the pot here just so you can see it's already lost its flow. And can you feel underneath, the warmth underneath?
Oh yeah, so that's not too hot.
That's always a reassuring thing because you know you've mixed and measured properly, and the exotherm, or what we call the heat that's released during the chemical reaction, always tells you, hey, you've done a good job, I'm working fine, let me just dry. Everything's normal.
Yep.
All systems go.
Nice.
That's when it doesn't get warm, then you think, oh, what have I done wrong? Have I measured wrong? Have I mixed inadequately? Have I added the wrong pigment, or have I added too much pigment? Because that can also block the reaction or slow the reaction down.
I know we always recommend like wearing gloves and things just for your own safety anyway, but if I do get it on my skin, just wash it off and it's...
Best thing you do is if you get it onto your skin, just wipe it off immediately there while it's wet.
Yep.
Because although it's not going to be irritant to your skin, the issue is when it goes dry, it's difficult to get off. You then have to scrub it off.
Yeah, fair play. There's hardening there. Well, we will stick exactly here then if you want to start mixing up some more. So that was like a large pour, wasn't it? But as you promised,
was a large pour, right.
We're going to be going into one of the smaller, and maybe this sort of mould that we're talking about now. I've done plenty of shows where a mould like this is what we've been, what's been available to you. So I bet you've got moulds like this, or as you said, like platters, coasters, candle holders, trinket trays, jewellery, that sort of thing. So I bet you've seen moulds like this.
Yeah. Do you want to do a skull? The skulls are very popular.
Let's do a scully.
To me, it's a little bit morbid, but trust me, I mean, going back to the old Hochanda show days, the shows that had the most success are the ones where we showed.
Well, let's show it, because I know it's a huge industry, isn't it? Whether it's like a bit steampunky, maybe it's a bit gothic, maybe it's just a bit Mexican.
Right. So I am going to now use the one that's got a little trick up its sleeve, right? As I said to you, the white. Okay. So that's our white hardener. And
so that was natural that went into the plant.
That was the natural that we pigmented.
Let's go white, okay.
And that's quite happily sitting
out
here.
Out the way a little bit, okay.
Let's move this out the way. Let's get this pigment out the way. So let's do the white. Let the white take its course on the trinket tray, and then do you want to choose a colour for the skull, or should we do that in?
Of course, I want to pick a colour for the skull.
Okay.
Any of our resin tints?
Yes.
Any of them? Are we saving the copper for something else?
Yes, we're going to save that because we're going to line the bottom.
So for the skull, what colour skull do we want? Can we do an orange skull?
Yep, can do.
You're like, sure?
Sure.
Why not? Rightio, okay.
Right, let's get the copper one as well.
Cool.
So what we're going to do with the copper one...
There's a whole pearl, when I was on the website, by the way, there's a whole pearl element as well, so you want like a real shine and shimmer to your colour, your Resi Tint Max.
So have a look at that.
Oh,
I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but it has a really beautiful copper glint when the light catches it.
Lovely.
So I'm not going to attempt to put the copper into the resin as a mixed-in pigment, because it actually doesn't do anything other than it stays pixelated, which some people like, and there's actually a piece there that has got the metallic that stays all pixelated.
I'll try and find it.
Yeah.
What colour? What does it look like? Was it that one?
No, it is...
Just wandering around, aren't we?
Down there, right? The one.
Oh, I see.
End. Yep.
This one?
Yep.
Oh, wow. I'll bring it back to demo.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jake. Just stagger about. Keep going, so I'll show you this bit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Especially on the back. You can see how the metallic has...
Yeah. The bits are a bit bigger at the back. It does look a bit Grecian. Yeah, I'll give you that, Jake. And that shine, by the way, that is what's one of the differences between the FastCast as well. You'll get that shiny look. That's cool. So amazing. Just by playing, just by seeing what's going on.
So what I'm doing here, if Jake can get overhead, is I'm actually just liberally scattering the metal powder into the mold. The idea then is that it will reside on top, and the resin will just stick it together and bond it in place, and you'll have this lovely metallic sort of top.
As you said, think in reverse, right?
Yes. Rightio.
Put this back where I found it.
So let's do another cup. So in this one here, we don't need as much. I'm going to go with 150.
Did you sort of have like a chemistry background? Or?
No, my father is an industrial chemist or a resin chemist, but we, as in his sons, like myself and my brothers, just grew up on the business side of it. So we much more sort of, I mean, I have a honours degree in business, commerce, but not in chemistry. But over the years of working with these products and selling them, you do get to know a lot of technical stuff about them because you've had to answer questions, you've had to do demonstrations, correct, so I've done 150 of Part A resin. You see how we distinguish, they're very well distinguished together because you can get confused.
Yep.
So red for that one and blue on this
resin,
one.
blue for hard.
Yeah, and there's no order in which they need to be mixed in.
So if you want that natural finish, obviously like the sort of beigey tone, if you like, you go for natural. If you want the white, and we're looking forward to the party trick, by the way.
Yes.
Then you go for white, but as you heard, by adding colour at this stage, if you chose to, it will almost like make it more pastel, you were saying, was it? Make
It'll
a lighter tone,
soften it
up,
it'll soften it out, correct, yeah. So again, as this doesn't, we're not pigmenting this one. It looks like a milky colour, but when it's in a thin coating, it's actually pretty translucent. But it'll
actually, this one was a lot quicker to mix than the previous hour.
Because the one component is lower in viscosity than the other the other version. Yeah, that's just the chemistry. You know, when we build these systems, you've got to balance so many factors that quite often the viscosity is out of your control. It's just how the raw materials combine.
By the way, so this is 36.24 for both parts, whether you just choose white or natural. That is not including your further 10% saving that you get when you use the promo code CraftStore, and free shipping and your free mold.
One quick word on the mixing, as always with resins, use the scraper on the inside walls of the container and on the bottom, just to get everything adequately mixed. It's easy to mix the center and leave stuff on the sides of the cup that then end up being sticky because they're not being mixed in properly.
You could use a spatula, you could use a stick, not like one from the woods, I mean like a lollipop stick.
Yeah, and these plastic ones are great because the resin doesn't stick to it.
Yeah,
so
good
when
point.
the resin dries, actually this one here, very soon be able to peel that off. So, right.
Can I purchase these from you or elsewhere?
You can, yeah.
Rightio, yes they are.
We make those. Right, so let's put that in. I want to do it quite carefully without disturbing the powder too much.
Oh no, look at that. I quite like the bit of disturbance.
You get a bit of a vein, metal vein running through it. I'll try and keep that, so let's go away from that. So what's going to happen with this one is it looks milky and cloudy now. In front of our eyes, it's literally going to turn pure white. Right.
So that will be turning as it's setting, and that will also be about 15 minutes.
Correct. Even quicker, around 10 minutes.
Wow. Right then. Okay. So this one, 23 past. That means that the big pot has been in for 7 minutes.
Yep.
That's going to be. So we'll look at like maybe 35 past. Give it 12 minutes. Only just from my own head. Oh, look at this.
Let's try.
Oh, it's nice and warm as well.
Yeah. So we'll let the exotherm just ease away.
Do its thing.
And we'll do it in about 3 minutes.
Right. That gives me an excuse to go over here for 2 and come back. And we're off. Hey presto. Rightio friends, not forgetting, where are you shopping? You are shopping direct. elichem.co.uk. You are shopping direct. On the home screen, by the way, you've got all sorts of brilliant galleries of different ideas. You've got that flat art pour gallery as well, which is really, really cool. All of the products on this show are under art products. There's the gallery. It's really, really cool. Lots of inspiration there, as there is on the guys' Facebook page and also the team's Instagram. But art products is where you go. From the first show, the turbo side of things, that's where you'll find all of those. This show, as you heard the testimonials coming in on YouTube particularly, there it is. FastCast Rapid Art and Craft Resin, under £30, so miles less, 36.24. Free shipping. Another 10%, another £3.60 coming off that price, purely by you using the promo code CraftStore. One word, CraftStore. It's up to you. You've got to pop it in there, by the way. You've got different colours available with the natural and the white, and you've got lots of Resi Tint Max colours, or the pearlescent / pearl powders to pop in there as you go through. But for the quickest resin possible, because I feel like this is why I'm so passionate about it. If I'm doing something, if I'm doing your crafting, I know many, many resins you've got to leave overnight, and that's the sort of thing that you've got used to doing, and then come back in the morning and reset up again. You want it there and then, don't you? I love the idea of having a couple of moulds in a row, or if it's the same mould, boom, you're doing like in an hour, you've got 4 out of there. Isn't it fast to do, to bulk make, to make and sell? If you're doing coasters and things, or your smaller makes obviously quicker than that. Your jewellery making, for example, and then all the colours of the rainbow below us, between the plates, or the candle holders, well up for doing that. Skull head, by the way, I'm sure so many of you have the larger, thicker skull heads. That's coming up in just a second. But on front of us here, you can see with the pot plants, how are we going to decorate them? Maybe you're going to paint it up afterwards if you want to. But that natural marbling is done through the powders as well, through, the colour tints within them. These, as I'm just going to bring forward, are your free moulds. With the promo code at checkout, Craft Store, one word, Craft Store, these are the letter moulds that you'll get for free. In the order notes, please pop which letter you would like, so then the team can put the one that works for you. Maybe it's your first name, maybe it's your last name, maybe it's the kid's name, whatever you want to do. But how cool is that together? All with free shipping with the promo code as well, to make and sell, to do something new, or to make the most out of all of those moulds that you've purchased over the years from Create and Craft, from the Craft Channel, from the Craft Store, which is us, from Hobby Maker, from Hachanda Global, whether it was from Art Inspirations, whether it was from Stamperia, maybe it is from Katie Sue, maybe it is from, I can't remember, there's loads of them, aren't there, out of the way. Nevertheless, all of those moulds that are designed for resin, you use the best possible resin, the quickest setting resin, which is Eli Chem, and you get the best price with that extra 10% off. I'm coming back. elichem.co.uk. Congratulations, everybody, and it's worth repeating as well. Whatever's in that basket, whether it's 10 kilograms of something, Aaron, and we've got all the colours of the rainbow in there, it'll still be free shipping, whatever the weight.
Absolutely.
There we go, perfect stuff. Right.
So while you've been over there, our white has
it's got white.
basically hardened. Although it's a little, when I say hardened, it's touch dry, but it's a little bit flexible still, so we'll leave it a little bit longer. It's only been, I think, 3 or 4 minutes. But we are ready to go with this one.
Are you sure?
I'm absolutely
sure. On the
sure.
clock, it's got 2 minutes left.
I'm going to go for it.
Here we go.
Live dangerously.
Living on the edge.
Yeah. Right, so the obviously the support sides will come away. And
so again, you saw the first half of this with the turbo poured at the end of the 2 o'clock show. We did recap for you that at the start of this show. And that was poured in 5:15. The pour was finished at 5:15.
Ready for the reveal?
I'm ready.
All right.
I cannot get over. What do you think about watching this right now? You watching on Facebook, watching on YouTube? Have you ever known a quicker setting resin? That's a very good point, Jake. You could literally rewind the show, scroll back along that little bar at the bottom of the screen on Facebook or YouTube and watch us do it again. Nailed it.
There you go.
Now that looks very Mamma Mia. Looks very Greek, doesn't it?
It does look very Greek. Yeah.
Isn't that perfect? And then you've got that mould ready to make and sell, right?
Yes.
If you want to.
And it doesn't even need a clean out because there's been no contamination, no spilling or anything, because we have A, mixed the resin correctly and long enough, and B, we mixed the pigment in adequately, so we're not getting any smears of excess pigment.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
So that mixing is worth taking your time with the mixing.
So literally, in theory, you could just bend it over again, place it back in its casing, tighten up, pour. And this can just go sit one side to completely dry.
How many times have you been to the garden centre looking for a pot of your choice, and if you've got the mould already, it can be the exact colour you want it to be?
Yes. And the beauty about this is you mentioned earlier about whether someone would want to paint it, and absolutely fine. Once it's dry, the surface is non-porous enough to be able to paint. So you can brush paint acrylic paints on, or oil paints, or enamel paints. You can even spray paint it. You can spray paint metallics onto it. You can spray paint anything onto it. So it is.
So you can do it all white or all natural and then go. But I do love how, well, obviously, because it's a fully, that blue isn't just painted, obviously, it's all the way through, isn't it? And I do love that idea.
It's all very through. So not only is it its own creation, it is also a blank canvas should you want to embellish it afterwards and do other stuff to it. The only extra thing you'd want to do if it's going to be sitting outdoors in a garden setting or in a porch that's going to have rain on it, is you'd want to seal it. Because over time water will ingress through the porosity of the product. And not of the FastCast, but of the Aquacast Turbo, the first one we did. And we make sealers that you just brush or sponge on that will then protect it.
There you go. Everything, or well, say the sealer if you like it, the mixing sticks, by the way, if you want to get the proper stuff, it is elichem.co.uk. But as you've been seeing, plastic cups and lollipop sticks, like you can absolutely start there. It's not a problem at all. So that has been in there for, what time did I say? I think I'm going to leave that another 4.5 minutes.
Nope, let's go for it.
You're going to go for it?
You go for it.
Me?
Yep.
So if it's not ready, it's my fault.
Don't break it.
I hear you. No, I won't.
Just gently ease the sides away, and you'll see straight away it'll come away very easily.
That's what I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it, Peter. This went in at, was it 25? It was 23 past, wasn't it?
Yep.
So it's been 7 minutes. 7-minute moulds. It's nice and warm.
Yep.
So obviously it needs a little bit more time to...
Well, it's demoldable, but you'd want to leave it to cool now. But yeah, have a look at that metallic effect on it.
Yeah. That is the copper metallic powder. I see why you wouldn't mix that in, like let it...
Yeah, just let it sit at the top.
And that little bit on the back. Isn't that superb? Aram, absolutely love it. There you go, 7 minutes. It was 7 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
7 minutes later. I mean, this show is advertised as being 10 to 15.
We err on the side of caution with that, so it is in reality quicker, but I don't really want to encourage people to do it too quickly because, look, how much of a rush are you going to be in if you can't wait 2 minutes more? Yeah.
Now, you don't get into resin craft, I think I'm safe to say, if you want results within the very second you're doing it. That's not the kind of deal it is there. Rightio, you mentioned the Scully.
Right, skull time.
Right, shall I move these bits out of the way to create you a little bit of room?
Some room for this one.
I can put this back on our big display over here, can't I? I'm going to put it on the top row.
Yes, you can.
There we go. Put one of our pot plants in there. Away we go.
Yeah, we're going to go for...
Right, just to recap, FastCast, just if people are not sure what to purchase or why are they purchasing FastCast?
Purchasing FastCast because it is a rapid prototyping or rapid crafting resin. Immediate results, quick turnover of existing molds, but more than that, it's a very high quality, very high finish, very strong and durable product. And also it's attention to detail. Because it's a low viscosity, it'll take up the tiniest facets. You talked earlier about Azuri molds. Azuri molds can be quite complex and have a lot of fine detail. Yeah. This stuff will replicate that and give you such a beautiful reproduction of it that you won't get from thicker, more viscous resin.
That's the reason why you bought the mold in the first place, right? Because you wanted that detail in there, for example. Okay.
But also, more importantly, it's so user-friendly. The one-to-one mix ratio is very convenient. It's very difficult to make a mistake. You just do equal parts of both. So I'm going 200.
That reminds me of honey or something.
That colour is basically the default colour of the hardener. Yeah. I always encourage people to think about this as a blank canvas to pigment with. You wouldn't really, I think, want it in its default colour without pigments because it's quite a boring colour.
We can be more imaginative.
Yeah, you can, absolutely. So that's the white, that's the wrong one. So that is the white. Let's leave that aside. So that's our natural. So we've got our hardener in up to 200. Let's take our...
Is it one for one?
One to one, by volume or by weight.
Margaret's just tuned in. Eileen, hello Eileen. Claire as well. Jake as well. Thank you all for watching. That's purely Facebook-wise. There's even more of you than that. Karen's just tuned back in as well. Karen, where did you go? She's come back. Also, lots more of you watching on YouTube too. So thank you so much. You can watch this again on YouTube. Obviously, Facebook for 30 days. But as we know now, worldwide, Facebook are clearing the videos after 30 days of the original broadcast. YouTube. The craft store, that's where you tune in, that's where you can watch everything forever, and this video will be there forever.
I'm going quite strong on the orange pigment, just to give us a really nice colour change. Right, let's put that to the side.
Rightio.
Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll use that one because that resin on there is dry now, so it's not going to affect.
And you're saying we're not just stirring it in the middle here, you'll do like some making sure you're agitating the bottom, the edges.
Scrape the excess off. Okay. I think I might actually throw a little bit more in.
Go on.
Yeah.
You devil.
You know you want to.
Last show today.
Yeah, that's a decent sized.
It's 34 minutes into the show, and already we've done 2 reveals.
Yeah.
This is going to be the skull. We're also going to do, if you just tuned in, by the way, almost like resin artwork, like flat resin, so not going in a mould at all.
Yeah. There's no reason why you need to pour it into a mould. We're going to show you that you can. It's a perfect base to combine shapes and processes and techniques on a flat surface for very much, as you say, a resin art genre. Just got to think slightly differently, because with epoxies, like some of the epoxies in our range, you get about 30 to 40 minute working time, so you can use the hairdryer or the heat gun to move colours and feather colours. This stuff's not going to give you that opportunity, but hey, if it's just colour collages and primary colours you're working with, then this is perfect for that. So it gives you the ability to make changes and add layers, make some translucent, make some strong coloured.
I want to say a quick hello to Louise, Mary, Margaret, Robert, Emma, Anne, Linda, who have all just tuned in this second. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Craft Store.
Right, we're ready to go. Again, I'm going to try and concentrate my pour in one area so that as it fills up, it pushes the air bubbles out. We don't end up with airlocks, because airlocks end up being holes when it dries.
Okay.
As you can see, it's beautiful to pour, self-leveling.
Really quite hypnotic, isn't it?
Free-flowing, quite cathartic.
Yeah, yeah. Also, our director was just complimenting your voice, Aaron.
Oh,
You're
right,
very calm. Whether that's like that in real life, I don't know.
It is actually, yeah.
Yeah, it is actually, yeah.
That does take takes a lot to get me sort of riled up.
Well, I've got 25 minutes. Let's see where we get.
Good luck with that one. Okay, we'll just let that off gas, or let the bubbles just pop.
Me that out of the way. But again, if I'm just leaving it in front of me, I'm not putting it onto the windowsill necessarily.
You don't need to. Have you noticed any unpleasant smell coming off it?
No, good point.
No need to have have it sort of in a fresh air place. Just with this product, again, we talked about earlier, wearing gloves, protecting your surfaces, because it is sticky and messy if you get it on your skin. It's not going to cause an irritation or a rash or anything. However, it's just difficult to get off. That's why I prefer to wear gloves.
Yeah, very, very sensible. There you go. Really excited about the show, by the way. Just to recap for all those people who've just joined us, maybe you're joining us at 5:30, just after. You're shopping direct. That's what you do. So you go onto, and maybe you watch Aaron before. You've watched me on Crate and Craft, for example. I was always like, go on that website. I'd never been on your website until today, because I never needed to.
That's shocking. That's going to get me to lose my cool.
There we go. See, I knew I'd get him. But the point is, I didn't realise how much you did.
Yeah.
The resource you have. Well, have a look at it. Like, did you even know that all these art galleries are there, and all these videos are here, workshops are there, all these art products are there, industrial products are there. So maybe if you're industrial, maybe you've got a hat and a moustache like that, man. Why not? So you do so much more than we could previously had access to.
I think we have probably about 1,000 products in the art division. Maybe I would say a good 600 to 700.
Yeah.
Pigments alone, I think there's about 200 or 300 pigments alone. Metallics, primary colours, glow-in-the-dark pigments.
Yeah.
The neon powders, you name it. So yeah, it's a
Wow.
lot of it's in response to the market, because when you start offering this at retail level, there are a lot of members of the public who really want a big choice of, because they're quite specific on, I want a lime green, not an emerald green, or not a sort of dark green. So yeah, you've got to have all of them.
You've got to have all exactly the exact price, $36.24 for the product, the FastCast, exactly what we're using on this show. But now, which you wouldn't have had before if we were stood here saying hello, Crate and Craft, you're shopping at elichem.co.uk. Therefore, you've given us a promo code, which I appreciate.
Yep.
A further 10% off, not just this product, the whole website.
Site-wide.
Site-wide. So that power tool, that polisher you just saw there, you get another 40 quid off that if you want to. Anyway, nevertheless, you can see it all there for you, and you're going to get free shipping no matter the weight, and you're going to get the free gift, which is the letter mould of your choice.
As long as you place in the order notes when you check out which letter of the alphabet you want. We've got A to Z, plenty stock of everything.
Yep.
Don't panic, but yeah, please tell us you want an M or an N.
If I forget to, will you use that?
I think at the time the order's processed, if it's not on there, we will either email or phone the customer and say, did you mean to? Because maybe those who say, I don't really want to mold, I've got too many already, or thanks but no thanks, just send me the resin. That's great. But yeah, a lot of people do forget to put that in the notes.
Yep.
And yeah, we will chase up on them. Yeah.
Because you want to get something for free, and then why not? Then maybe you'll come back and shop direct again at elichem.co.uk. That is the whole point. But this is that freebie. And also for personalisation, or not just the colour of what you can do. I've never seen letter moulds, but I've seen lots of words before and stuff and script work. But actually your own like proper industrial size letter, whether you want to pour it to be that thick or that thick, this is the size we are talking about.
Well, the word on the end is probably a good one to show.
The craft one, yeah. Easy to go get it now. Because after all, you can just order them if you want them on their own. They are really, really fun. Some cool, like almost like pouring, sort of dripping elements to those, isn't it? Which is really, really fun. Everything on there you can do with elements from Eli Chem. So as you're checking out your baskets, just go have a little shop around, have a click about and see what you see. But 100% please use the code, the promo code CraftStore in there. Right, the Scully's been in for like 3 minutes. Shall we crack on with the pour as well?
It's already hardened off. I'm just going to grab a few more small cups.
Do I do it? Yeah.
What time did we pour the Skull?
The Skull, I think it was like 4 minutes ago.
Okay.
I think it was like 30, 36, no, maybe 37, 38.
All right. Should we maybe give it 5 minutes more?
I think we should give it a fighting chance.
Yeah. No,
I feel like that'll take longer because there's so much of it. Is that not the case? It's still going to be about 15 to do it properly.
Actually works the other way around. The more you pour, the quicker it dries, because it's more efficient at holding the exotherm, the heat, which helps the transitioning from a liquid substance to a solid.
Okay.
So that the more the mixed mass, i.e. the more you mix at a time, the faster the reaction, the more heat is released, and the faster it dries.
Okay. So there we go, away we go. Do you want to pour now? Do you need a second to clear up and get ready, or should we want to...
If you give me a second to clear up and get ready.
That's what I'll do. Yep. I'll be good like that. Right, I'm going to wander over here. I'll be back in literally 2 seconds' time, I promise you. But also want to give Aram a chance to get ready, as we say. I am so impressed with this show. I'm so impressed. I've done shows before with Aram, which is really cool. But you know what? Often we have to be like, this product is the new one, or there's a special offer for a second or two. That special offer is website wide. So if you're into your resin art, or into your resin with your molds, or into making jewellery with resin, so earrings, pendants, jewellery, that kind of thing, brooches, embellishments for your crafting cards or home decor projects, resin in your molds is the one to go for. Maybe you collect the molds from Zuri, maybe it is from KTC, maybe it is from Stampere. I know there's lots of different ones out there. Maybe it's LMMs, for example, loads of different ones out there. This resin is the quickest on the market for you to get hold of at home. 15 minutes. Hey, it was 7 minutes a second ago, wasn't it? Obviously stick to the 15-minute rule, but you know what I mean? That's sort of experimenting. I've got the best man for the job on the case. For making and selling, absolutely perfect. For gift giving, absolutely perfect. But just to get that crafty hit that you decide, you get an idea of inspiration, get the molds out, you've got the resin ready to rumble, and then you want the result there. You want to be able to demold it there and then, and that's exactly what you can do with elichem.co.uk. It's called FastCast for a reason. The previous one, the Eco Turbo, mixing with water, so you're not using a mixing agent like a hardener like you've got right now. You're mixing it with water. If that's what you'd rather do, if that floats your boat, it's on elichem.co.uk. The whole of 2 o'clock was focusing on that one. But the colour-wise, whether you want to go for the Resi Tint Max, for example, smaller powders, you've got 5-gram options, you've got 50-gram options. You can order one of these colours, you can order 10, but you pick the 10 colours. It's not like, here are the Christmas ones, here are the blue and green tones. You can hand-pick which colours you want, all from elichem.co.uk. And I know I've said this an awful lot. If you watch the whole show, which I know most of you do, you're bored of me saying this, but people do also tune in every single second of the day. Go on elichem.co.uk. At checkout, promo code CraftStore. 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 For that, you'll get 10% off every single product, not just the main ones, 10% off every single product on the website that's in your basket. And you'll get free shipping, no matter how weighty that basket is. And one of these molds I was just talking about will be in there for free. But just in the order notes, please pop down which letter you would like. So we go to FastCast and we go add to basket, brilliant news. And we go to our shopping cart to see at the end there. You put all sorts of different bits and bobs in there as well. There you go, even remind you at the top in red, if you'd like a letter mould with your order, please type in the letter in the add comments with your order box. That's free, by the way. You've got a promo code, Craft Store, all one word, Craft Store. And then once you've done that, you apply the coupon and you will see 10% come off, the shipping come off. There you go, even just on that one there, an extra £3 off for you. And then also you'll get the letter of your choice. Thank you so much for that, Aaron, by the way. That is a real incentive, a little prize for coming back to us and just for shopping on this show or the previous one or after this hour. Okay, right. 10 minutes left on the show.
Do you want to demold the skull now?
Can we?
Yep.
Shall I do it?
All yours. It won't be too warm now.
Was it 10 minutes, Jake? Right, he checked. Here you go. This was 10. We've just rewound it on YouTube, as you just saw at the bottom there. This was 10 minutes ago. God, it's tricky to get out, isn't it? I just feel like I'm going to fling this and it's going to pop out and smash.
No, it won't smash.
No, it won't.
That's one thing it will not do. It's too strong for that.
Come on. Yep. Oh, there you go. Finished. Hey, yeah.
Nice grin.
Yeah, nice grin. Oh, no, I could have almost like marbled some colours whilst I was mixing, right?
I would take the back now.
Oh, would you?
Yeah, and then kind of get that in line. There you go.
Hello. Oh my God, how smooth is that? How perfect. He's a happy chappy.
So that's the gloss that I was referring to.
Yeah.
Surface gloss. So gone are the problems of having to polish and sand and really sort of get a shine to it. It'll come with that natural shine.
Was that natural or was it white?
That was the natural we used.
That was the natural.
Yeah.
With this one, which is obviously the pure orange.
Yeah.
Colour.
We kept the intensity kind of middle of the road. We could have added more pigment and got an even more orange, but I think that is actually a little bit more organic and natural.
And there we go. Next time you're back, we'll pop that on the display and away we go. Done.
Adding to our display.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Right, how long have we got?
8.5.
Cool. Right, then what we'll do is we'll get 2 small cups.
Do you want some cup? You got some cups?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I might not need them, but what I'll do is, right, so on this one here, we don't need very much at all. We're going to go with...
Absolutely obsessed with that skull. I'm going to bring Scully into the corner of that shot.
Go with 100 and 100.
Going for the white.
I think we should do a side-by-side pour. What do you think?
Side-by-side pour?
Yes.
What is a side-by-side pour?
I'll show you in a second.
Okay.
So we're at 100 and 100, right? So what we'll do is
mix.
Should we go with the lime green?
Sure.
Okay, let's add some lime green in there.
So that paste, if you're going for the Resi Tint Max, it's $12.24 a colour, but of course, if you go for the packs of 3, 5s or 10s, the price goes down per unit. This feels like a proper... This feels like you go to a cocktail bar.
Just gonna go even.
You're going to catch this behind your head in a minute.
We're going to go 50 and 50. Giving us a total of 100. Right, what colour should we do the other one?
Oh, what goes with green? Yellow?
We got green, yeah, let's go green.
Green, yellow, my football team.
Yeah, okay. So that's the green. You want to give that a stir. I'll do the yellow. And we'll pour it at the same time.
Oh, that makes sense. Cool.
Side by side.
Oh, it's proper lime green. This is lovely. And how long roughly, it's FastCast, isn't it? How long? Yep. It's only like a minute or so, wasn't it? Or 2 minutes?
Yeah, you'll actually start feeling it warming up. And this one is the white that we used. So that one again is going to change that color. It's not going to be as intense as it looks at the moment because I told you about that whitening effect.
You did. But both are available under the same FastCast. You can see the 2 bottles there, red lid, blue lid. Whether you're going to go for white or you're going to go for natural.
Right, so we've got to be careful now not to spill too much over the end because remember this is quite runny.
I'll try.
So if you work with me, we'll start in the middle and we're going to do quite a thin sort of small stripe each. So literally we're going to just go like a, so if you line yours up there and then just do literally...
Which way are we going? Towards the back of set?
Go backwards and just keep it really kind of minimalist. Let it flow into each other.
Have we gone?
Yeah, so we can help it on its way a little bit. Try and get some of the colours to blend.
Maybe I should do two contrasting colours, but I just saw Norwich City and I was like, I'm going yellow and green.
Do you want to do a green on the,
yes,
on
I
that
do.
side of the yellow? There you go.
Here we go. I'll put a drop in there too.
I'm going to just do on the borderline there. Can you feel yours is getting warm?
Yeah.
Right, so we've got to have a look, because the window of opportunity to pour will soon come to an end if you go again.
Where should I go?
Up to you. Creative license. I'm going to go on the end of this one.
Jake's encouraging me to go absolutely rogue.
Right, I'll let you do the rest of the
Maybe
green.
I will go rogue then.
We don't want to do too much because we don't want to spill too much over the end.
There we go.
All right, we can also then with this just flatten it and create almost like a haze where the colours match together. Yeah?
I guess I could sprinkle some other powder in there, or...
Do you want to put some more on there very quickly on the end?
Some green?
Yeah, it may have stopped flowing, but do what you can.
No, run away. Oh, it's getting a bit goopy. It's already... Oh, look at that!
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be solid. See, that demonstrates really the window. We lost that window of opportunity.
Yeah.
But now it'll be quite stringy.
That was mad. That was literally like 30 seconds later.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, so the challenge is when you're going on a flat surface is A, don't mix up too much.
Yep.
Because you're not going to have enough time to use it all, and B, just work reasonably quickly.
That is so cool. I wish I'd done like a dark and a light colour now. Black and white. You could have just gone black and white. Listen, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want to do, can't you? This is the whole point, be as personal and bespoke as you want it to be. You must be, we touched on this in the last hour, but it must be really exciting when you get new people joining you, particularly like crafters through Create and Craft, through Hochanda, for example, of what people do as just a single person at home enjoying, because I know you do big industrials, as you saw on the website there, but it's basically that same core products that anyone can enjoy.
It's very exciting for us. We have a very diversified route to market. We sell through our website, we sell on Amazon, we sell on eBay, we sell on the shelf at retailers all over the world. But even with that reach and social media and email marketing, there's still a segment that we don't get to other than those who come through you guys. Yeah. Because they will be looking at your social media for inspiration, and we're not there yet until we do a show with you. So yeah, it does bring in a different group of people.
It's really, really cool. And as you can spy just in the background behind us, this is the gallery that's on elichem.co.uk. So a lot of it, from Instagram, for example, from Instagram, from the website, from Facebook as well. Loads of different ideas. In this show alone, I'm going to nip over and get some of the bits because we did. Have you ever seen? I'm amazed by it. Have you ever seen a resin show on this kind of telly, where you get so many reveals and pours in the same show, in the same 55 minutes. This was revealed in this show. The blue was done in the first show, the white, this show. No, other way around.
Other way around.
Other way around, sorry. Yep. The white first and the blue in this show, forgetting it was the other way around. This whole thing with the copper powder was done in this show. The skull, and look at the different widths of these. The skull was done in this show, and now the chopping board. I mean, I may not make my sandwiches on it. Maybe I will. But the display piece, the candle holder, where the flowers are going to go.
Can I just say, I think I know what you did on the end on purpose. You created your own hanging.
Yes, I did.
So that
thank you, Aaron. Thank you.
There is now your hanger, and you can see how quick that is now. So that is stopped running, stopped dripping, and is touch dry.
I mean, it's a bit sticky, but also I put my finger in it.
Yeah, it'll be probably a little bit of the pigment that migrated to the surface, but you leave that a few more minutes. But but in essence, the resin has gone off.
I was done minutes ago. We've got 1 minute left. Aaron, it's a really pleasure to see you again.
Dan, always a pleasure.
Yeah, your expertise and passion for something that can bring so much pleasure to you guys at home. What moulds have you got at home? What resin do you use at the moment? I know you've purchased Eli Chem before. Now you get that promo code, right? Which remind me, so it's called Craft Store, and that gives us
10% off the order total site-wide, plus free shipping, plus the choice of your letter mould.
Which letter you're going to go for, whether it's a C, whether it's M, whatever you'd rather do. But now is the time, of course, to watch this show back, but what you shop direct with it, every single penny. So, Craft Store isn't taking half of it or 70% or whatever it was back in the day. You shop direct with Aram, elichem.co.uk, elichem.co.uk. That's where you pop your promo code. That's where you get your further 10% off. That's where you get your free shipping and your free mold. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for inviting us, and I'd love to keep coming up in the future.
Absolutely, and I'm going to hang that on the wall behind us here at the Craft Store. Cheerio.
Bye.